Good evening. On August 8, 2025, the Chinese province of Gansu experienced one of its most devastating natural disasters in recent history. Intense and sustained rainfall triggered sudden flash floods and landslides, claiming at least 10 lives and leaving 33 others unaccounted for. Thousands of residents remain cut off as recovery efforts continue under difficult conditions. Tonight, we take a detailed look at how this disaster unfolded, the scale of its impact, and the response efforts now underway. Gansu Province, located in northwestern China, is characterized by a varied topography of mountains, river valleys, and plateaus. Yuzhong County, near the provincial capital of Lanzhou, sits in a region vulnerable to landslides due to its steep terrain and soil composition. In early August, a slow-moving storm system brought extreme precipitation to the area. Meteorological stations recorded the equivalent of an entire month's average rainfall within a 12-hour period. The rapid saturation of soil on already unstable slopes created conditions conducive to widespread landslides, while the sudden surge of river water overwhelmed local flood defenses. The disaster began in the early hours of August 8. At approximately 3 a.m., local river levels began rising at an alarming rate. In several communities, floodwaters breached embankments and entered residential areas within minutes. Eyewitness accounts described the water as carrying debris, mud, and broken infrastructure. Power and telecommunications failed in many locations, complicating early warning efforts. In the village of Hejiatan, residents attempting to evacuate reported rapidly rising water, making escape on foot extremely dangerous. While flooding was the immediate threat, the situation escalated as multiple landslides occurred. Entire sections of hillside collapsed, blocking major roadways and burying vehicles. A particularly large landslide along the primary route to Lanzhou delayed rescue convoys by several hours. Geotechnical experts later confirmed that prolonged rainfall destabilized the soil layers, triggering chain reaction slides. In some cases, secondary landslides occurred hours after the initial collapse, increasing danger to rescue teams and residents. By daybreak, the Ministry of Emergency Management had mobilized hundreds of personnel, including firefighters, medical teams, and units from the People's Liberation Army. Helicopters were deployed for aerial rescues, while inflatable boats navigated through flooded streets to reach stranded residents. Rescue operations were hindered by debris-filled waters and unstable ground. In some isolated villages, teams were forced to reach victims via unpaved mountain paths, further slowing the response. Officials emphasized that time was critical, especially for individuals potentially trapped beneath landslide debris. As of the latest official report, the disaster has resulted in 10 confirmed fatalities, with 33 individuals still missing. Over 4,000 residents remain stranded in affected zones without reliable access to electricity, clean water, or communication networks. Temporary shelters have been established in schools and government buildings. Local and national authorities are coordinating with volunteers to distribute food, blankets, and essential medical supplies. Medical teams are treating injuries ranging from fractures to hypothermia, and public health officials are monitoring for potential outbreaks of waterborne disease. The central government has announced emergency funding to support rescue and recovery operations. Engineers are assessing the structural integrity of roads, bridges, and flood control systems. Meteorologists have warned of additional rainfall in the coming week, which could trigger further landslides in saturated areas. Local authorities have urged residents in high-risk zones to relocate temporarily until conditions stabilize. Investigations are underway into whether existing early warning systems functioned as intended, with some residents claiming that alerts were either delayed or never received. The flash floods and landslides in Gansu stand as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of mountainous regions to extreme weather events. While rescue and relief operations continue, the priority remains safeguarding those still at risk and restoring essential services to the affected communities. We will continue to monitor developments closely and bring you the latest updates as they become available.